Spoiler Piece Theater, the podcast that doesn't give a shit about spoilers. We just want to talk about the movies. My name is Megan Kearns. My pronouns are she, her. I write and podcast for In Session Film. I'm a co-host of the Slashers podcast, a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, and a member of Gallica, the Society of LGBTQ Entertainment Critics.
And my name is Dave Riedel. My pronouns are he, him. I used to write about movies, but now I really don't anymore. Now I just yap about them. And I am also a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association.
My name is Evan Crean. My pronouns are he, him. I am co-chair of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, co-author of Your 80s Movie Guide to Better Living, and co-host of the It's the Pictures podcast.
Yeah, you are.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm awfully giggly because I had, in case you didn't know, listeners, we can see each other on camera, and my kitty had decided to enter the frame and sniff the microphone. And yeah, so anyway.
There she is walking across your pillows.
Yes, she is, as she likes to do.
Yes, yeah, but she was like right in the frame. I thought she was going to like, take her paw and just like move the microphone over and start like meowing into it.
I would not be surprised at all if that happened. But yes, so in case you're wondering why I was giggly, that's why. But Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's 2026. Here's hoping it's a good year. My God, because things are woohoo. But it's a new year, and we want to give, before we dive into this week's episode and this week's movies, we want to give a huge thank you to our sponsor piece patron, Heather Sachs. Heather, thank you so much.
Thanks, Heather.
Thank you, Heather.
And speaking of Patreon, go check out our bonus episode if you're a patron. We talked about the legal thriller Sidney Lumet's 1982 film, The Verdict, starring Paul Newman. And we had a great time talking about it. It's a great movie, great conversation. So if you're a patron, go check that out. And if you're not, consider joining for $5 a month. Okay, so for the first episode of the new year, we have two movies. We're going to be talking about the psychological thriller The Plague and the zombie post-apocalyptic film We Bury the Dead. And we are going to start with The Plague, which Evan and I saw. And that opened in New York and LA on December 24th. It opens wide January 2nd. And let me give you some information about it. It's written and directed by Charlie Pollinger. It stars Joel Edgerton in a small role, as well as Everett Blunk, Kaio Martin, and Kenny Rasmussen. And this is the synopsis that comes from the press release. At an all-boys water polo camp, a socially anxious 12-year-old is pulled into a cruel tradition targeting an outcast with an illness they call the plague. But as the lines between game and reality blur, he fears the joke might be hiding something real. Wahaha. So Joel Edgerton plays the coach of the water polo team, and you have this really shy, awkward kid. Evan, what's his name? Is it Kevin? Am I just assuming it's Kevin? I don't know why I have Kevin.
You know, I actually didn't remember anyone saying his name throughout the movie.
I know. Isn't that weird?
Ben?
I don't either. Ben? Okay.
Yeah,
so it's Ben.
Character's name?
Yeah, because they call him Sop because he can't say stop because he's got kind of a lisp. And so they call him Sop or Soppy. So yeah, so I couldn't actually remember what his name was. So yeah, I mean, the synopsis pretty much covers it. You have this kind of tense score and kind of this dreamlike moments at times. But it's the water polo team and water polo camp rather. And the kid who's the ostracized kid to me, it's very clear he's on the spectrum and he likes nerdy things. This takes place in 2003 and he can quote Gollum and he can do a good Gollum impression from Lord of the Rings. And the main kid, Ben, also seems to be, I don't want to say nerdy because he likes Star Wars. And to me, that's not really nerdy. That's mainstream nerdy. But they kind of sort of, like, he kind of feels bad for him, but they also kind of sort of bond and end up becoming friends. But really their friendship takes off when he gets ostracized.
Right.
And the plague thing is like this rash. Like there are like tenacious pimples and then like a straight up red rash and it's itchy. And the other boys act ridiculous and absurd. But like if a kid with the quote, the plague sits down at lunch, they'll all flee to another table or they'll run away in the shower. And because they talk about how contagious this is and how you can get it so easily and you have to wash your hands immediately after being in contact with them or even being near them. And so then all of this is happening and Ben starts getting bullied severely too. His mind is and state of being, his psychological well-being is unraveling rapidly. So Evan, I'm sure we'll get into more of the details as we talk, but Evan, what did you think of this?
I found it utterly tedious, and I really wish that I liked it more, but it was so slow, so tedious. It's very kind of like vignette-y style storytelling. I found just so hard to watch. On top of the subject matter, as you've explained, it's about bullying. It's, a teenage, preteen kid, boys being who they are, which is like really shitty and awful. And so that part's like not easy to watch. But then like as someone who's just sitting there watching, like you're talking about the plague, like the plague is very clearly some type of fungal infection that like they're letting run unchecked. So like Eli, the kid who has it, is wearing this like shirt to cover it up, but he's putting on like fungal cream, but like he also is like wearing that shirt constantly and going in the sauna, which I'm just like, that's just creating conditions for the fungus to get worse. And so like I spent the whole time being mad at the adults for not like being like, this is a fungal infection, it needs to be treated like with cream and with the proper like precautions, because then like, Ben gets it and it starts spreading throughout his body. And I'm just like, is no one seeing when he gets in the pool with no shirt, like this like horrific like infection that's just getting, it's like I struggle with that a lot. And I also struggle with the fact that like Joel Edgerton is, as you mentioned, he's kind of like barely in this movie at all. And it's because like he's the coach, but like the coach is not really around at all. Like he's not there at night. It doesn't seem like he sleeps anywhere near where their bunk is. And so he's like just barely present. Like we see him there to like talk to Ben like once or twice because it's clear he's having problems, and then he's like there to like kick the one kid out who tries to drown Ben after they get into a fight, which is you know that's coming. It's water polo. Like the kids, Ben scratches his kid who's been addicted to him. He's like kind of like the ringleader of a lot of this stuff, and he's one of those kids that's got like a smug expression like the whole time. And then, the kid tries to drown Ben after they like get into it. And then Joel Edgerton like intervenes and is like, all right, enough. And like he yells at them once after, the poor kid Eli that they're already ostracizing. Like there's like a girls like synchronized swimming camp that's also there. And he gets like a boner when they are like there. And so everyone's making fun of him for having a boner. It's like there's some good cinematography. The score, and I don't know how I was watching it, but like the sound mixing was like very uneven to me and like extremely loud in places. The dialogue was kind of hard for me to hear. And so I also found that very disruptive to my experience. Like the discordant score to me also was annoying, more so than like building psychological tension. Because like whenever when I looked this movie up, IMDb has it tagged as like psychological thriller, psychological drama. I'd say it definitely fits more in the psychological drama than psychological thriller, because the movie doesn't really gain a lot of momentum. In my opinion, it doesn't gain a lot of momentum because of its kind of like short vignette moments that just make it very tedious to watch and don't build the kind of like tension that I would expect until the very end, when it's shit is getting really bad to the point where like Eli cuts his fucking finger off with a scissor and is like bleeding all over the place because Ben is now being really mean to him and like yelling at him like, don't you want to be normal? Like, don't you want to stop being such a fucking weirdo and like actually have friends? And then like Eli earlier in the movie as a joke, Dave like did a trick where he like looked like he cut his finger off as a joke, and this time he just straight up just scissors his finger off, and you see it in like gory detail.
Yeah, but the great thing about that part is that the scissors, like he's like, as you would with real flesh and bone, it's struggling to get it through. So it's like,
oh God,
yeah. And then so like Ben helps him and Joel Edgerton like get to the car, and then he's like covered in blood, and there's like a dance going on. So then like Ben goes back to the dance with this like shirt covered in blood, and like the end of the movie is him like just going crazy on the dance floor and like kind of like losing his mind.
I don't know if maybe he's losing his mind. I saw it as him letting go and being himself finally, because the song that's playing, the song that's playing, I mean, it's very on the nose, but it's something about like the real me or being real. I don't know, something to that effect. So, yeah. But he might also be losing his mind, as you might if you saw someone chop their finger off intentionally.
Right. Yeah, there's cruel stuff in this. Like after Ben gets, I want to say the kid's name is Jake, like the asshole
it is Jake.
Kid. After Jake kind of gets in trouble, like the first time, like they take a box or they take like a jar of like cockroaches or something and dump them on Ben and like pull the covers over him, so he's just like stuck in there.
Jesus.
Under the like getting attacked by the bugs. So there's that. There's also like a gross scene like early in the movie where they're all like jerking off together in the dark and like talking about like girls and passing some bottle of lotion around. It's just icky. It's just icky, nasty stuff. So I just found this movie unpleasant on a lot of levels. It makes its points, I think, somewhat effectively about how shitty kids are and how awful it is to be bullied. I don't know. In some ways, things like that, like the bugs and stuff, just feels like kind of the lowest denominator way of looking at the issue. What about you, Megan? What did you think about this?
Yeah, I feel like people have been stumbling all over themselves to praise this movie because it's nominated for 3 different Independent Spirit Awards. It premiered at Cannes, and I feel like people have just been praising it. Like it has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, which kind of blows my mind. I do think this is a well-made film. I think it's well acted, especially Kyle Martin, who plays Jake. I think he's outstanding. I think he is so good as this shitty kid. And Joel Edgerton is very, like you said, he's barely in it. It's clearly he's there to bring some attention to the film because he's also a producer. And this is the filmmaker's feature-length directorial debut. He's adapted it from a short that he made. I think it's well made. I actually like the discordant score. I think this is an unpleasant film. It's an unpleasant watch. It's intentionally that way. And either you're going to buy into it or you don't. And I didn't have an issue with the sound design, though. I listened with my headphones on and it was great. So I don't know if maybe there is an issue with the screener or something else. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But my experience was it sounded good. And as far as the cinematography goes, because this shot really stuck with me when at the end when Ben is coming back, there's like that wide shot where you see Ben on the left side like kind of stumbling back in covered in blood, and then you see the kids like dancing, like reveling, and they're like woohoo woohoo in the party on the right side, and they're like split by the hallway. I loved that. I thought that was a great shot. So I think this is a well-made movie. I couldn't stand this though. I also thought it was tedious. Maybe for some of the same reasons, maybe for different. I'm not sure, because I don't think it's boring by any means, but it's so obvious in everything. And not that everything has to be subtle, but the metaphor is obvious. The bullying is obvious. Some of the dialogue, like it all just feels so obvious that there just doesn't seem to be any complexity really. Right. And what's weird to me is that it's clearly building to this like shocking finale. And don't get me wrong, the finger coming off was like gross.
Yeah, that's
along
nasty.
with a lot of other kind of body horror adjacent things that are happening. Although I really feel like dive into the body horror. If you're going to go for it, like go for it.
Right.
But I felt like it kind of went, I don't want to say nowhere because it does go somewhere and Eli's utterly destroyed. But I don't know. I didn't feel that emotional devastation like the way I intellectually did, but I didn't feel it on a visceral level. And it's just weird to me. And I guess you could make the argument it's that, well, Ben had reached his limit and, everything he's screaming at Eli, he's screaming at himself. Like, why can't you just be normal? But he's not normal because like there's clues right away that Ben is not cool with this bullying. He wants approval and he wants to be accepted by these boys, but he's not like them from a lot of different ways. Like that scene where they're kind of doing the midnight circle jerk, as it were, where they're all like, getting off in their beds, like masturbating. He doesn't participate. He doesn't want any part of it. And he lies and he's like, oh yeah, I'm good with the lube or the lotion or whatever he says, but he's not participating in it. And then he also is a vegetarian, which you find out later in the film. And Jake is relentlessly, mocking him for that. And he's like, well, don't you feel empathy for the cows? And like, so Ben is clearly different. He's not like the other kids, but then he ends up succumbing to it. But to me, it didn't feel like an earned turn. It didn't feel like it made sense. It felt like he was just worn down by bullying, which I could understand if that made him withdrawn. But I don't know. It just, something about it just didn't, it felt more forced. Like this is where we're going in the script. So this is where we're going, not this is where the character would go. So, I will say the aftermath, I did really feel like, oh, he looks like he's been through the war, so that I think was good. But yeah, so I think there are good elements. I like kind of the way this film opens when they're all like one at a time going, like jumping into the
plunging
pool.
into the water.
Yeah, and it sounds like bullets going off. And I kind of like that that's how it's setting you up. Like this is going to be an assault on your senses. And I was kind of here for that. So yeah, I have complicated feelings about this because I do think it's well made, but I do think it has some problems with the writing. So yeah. And it is a wildly unpleasant film. And also it reminded me of so many other films that have done this topic better. And like it reminded me of other bullying films. It reminded me of 8th Grade. There's a great film that came out in 2015 by Anna Rose Holmer called The Fits, which is not about bullying per se, but it's about mass hysteria amongst teen and preteen girls dancing. And I think that did that better as far as like a metaphor for coming of age and being a teen and adolescence and all of that. So anyway, it reminded me of other films, but yeah. So I have complicated feelings.
Yeah, it's a bummer because you're right. There were so many like raves about this movie and I went in, I guess maybe with some expectations like, oh, this is going to be like this really good movie with like this really fascinating like metaphor for like bullying. And it could be like really psychological and it could go deep on the body horror and it just it doesn't hit the mark in those ways. Like you said, there are some elements to I think that are really well done from a technical perspective, but like I think the narrative feels weak and hollow in places.
Yeah, I will say that it is an interesting choice to kind of, I won't say Charlie Brown the adults, but kind of have like Ben's mom. He's like, she doesn't know how to be a human. And like he calls her and he's like, Mom, can you come get me? And instead of actually coming to pick him up, she sends the coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Ben's like, was she mad at you? Was she yelling at you? And it's like Ben is like parenting his mother, which is kind of intriguing. And then the coach, when he gives that pep talk, and Ben's like, this is the worst pep talk ever, because he's like, I was bullied as a kid too, and it was awful, and my teen years were the worst.
Yeah.
And Ben's like, oh, but your 20s were great, right? And he's like, oh no, they sucked too. They were terrible too. And he's like, but now I'm in my 40s and it's great, and I don't even think about those bullies anymore. And I'm like, so you say? I don't know.
Yeah. I think it was interesting to have that backstory too, like of the mom that was like she had the affair and then like destroyed the marriage, and then they like up and picked up and moved in with the affair partner guy.
Yeah.
But
Jeez.
it's such a like small, snippet of dialogue that it doesn't really come up or play into it at all in any other way.
Yeah,
Other than, I guess, to maybe show like later, like you said, when the mom calls the coach instead of coming to get him. That's like, she's probably not the best parent.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess now that you're saying it aloud, I'm thinking about this. The other thing, I guess, perhaps from a writing stance that it could be conveying is the fact that maybe this is why Ben caves at the end and starts bullying Eli, because he's a people pleaser, because he's trying to take care of his mother and he's trying to get her approval and attention, but he doesn't have that. So because she's busy with her affair boyfriend, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's why. Who knows?
Yikes.
Yeah. Dave, I personally think you dodged a bullet not watching this one.
Yeah, sounds like it. Wow.
Evan, did you have any other observations you wanted to make?
No, I think I'm ready to move on.
All right. Let us talk about our next film that we all saw. Yay! We Bury the Dead. And this stars Daisy Ridley, and it also has Brenton Thwaites and Matt Whalen. And it's written and directed by Zach Hilditch, and who is an Australian horror filmmaker. And it takes place in Australia and Tasmania. And so here is the synopsis. After a catastrophic military disaster, the dead don't just rise, they hunt. The military insists they are harmless and slow-moving, offering hope to grieving families. But when Ava enters a quarantine zone searching for her missing husband, she uncovers the horrifying truth. The undead are growing more violent, more relentless, and more dangerous with every passing hour. So yeah, the first 5 minutes of this film, you see Ava and her husband dancing, and it's like, oh, isn't this nice? They're at a wedding or party. And it's like, oh, how nice. They're in love. La, la, la. And then all of a sudden, we witness this news broadcast of this weapon that was being tested on by the US, and it just decimated a city or town in Tasmania where 500,000 people are all of a sudden dead. And you're seeing all these other news broadcasts about that. And so Ava, who is American in this, she flies to Tasmania so she can volunteer as someone to kind of go through the wreckage, go through the bodies. But her real goal is to find her husband. And so she is working with this guy who's kind of a loose cannon and was doing cocaine at one point, and is like, hey, you want to do something? She's like, no, it's drunk. A little early for me. Yeah, he's drunk. He's kind of belligerent. He's a hot mess. But he takes her part of the way, and then she goes the rest of the way, or sort of, I was gonna say the rest of the way, but no, actually the rest of the way she walks herself. But then she goes another part of the way with this military guy who then he turns out to be a major creep and is disturbing and is keeping the undead chained up, and she finds out some horrifying secrets there. And so and then by the end of the film, she has indeed found her husband. He does not come back, because that's the thing, only some of them come back, not all of them do. And he does not come back, but she does find out that he was having an affair. But then you find out in a conversation she has with the loose cannon guy that, their marriage was on the rocks and she didn't know what they were, and she slept with someone and she had revealed this to him right before he took the trip to Tasmania, and then he clearly moved on too. And so it's so it's this moment of revelations and so on and so forth. And yeah, so that's the movie. Dave, what did you think of this?
Well, I kind of liked this, but it's really uneven. I understand the Daisy Ridley's character motivation from a strictly screenwriting 101 perspective. Like, oh, my husband is down there. We had unfinished business, although he didn't have unfinished business.
No, he did not.
And also, the one thing I do really like about the screenplay is you don't actually know whether he was having an affair before she had her affair.
That's true.
And so, yeah, the funny thing is Brenton Thwaites is the kid from, what's the one about the clock that's evil with Karen Gillan? What's that called?
Oculus?
Evil.
Oculus.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, or it's a mirror that's evil.
That's
right?
why I was like, a clock that's evil. Yes, it's a mirror. It's an evil mirror.
He's Karen Gillan's brother in that. And then he's in this awful sci-fi movie that was torturous. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I liked his performance too. And there was some interesting stuff in the sense of, when they run across that completely fucked up soldier and he locks Daisy Ridley in a utility closet. I'm not sure what that is, or a bathroom or medical room or,
yeah.
And then he comes back and he says, "Oh, the guy ran off on me." I mean, I was just thinking, what? That doesn't seem quite right. But then I thought, no, I can see his character doing that. But also I'm like, this guy, shot a zombie from, 50 yards away and didn't hit them. Single shot.
He could have hit them.
Could have hit them, but he didn't. I'm just thinking, maybe it's true. But
I mean,
when
the whole setup of him like handcuffing the other guy and being like locking her in a room and then leaving, I was like, this just seems unsavory from the get go.
Oh yeah,
like something is wrong here.
Yeah, he did say one interesting thing. He said, if you find your husband, you better be prepared for what you find. But of course, that's all in relation to his fucking weird obsession with his wife.
Oh God.
And like, I don't even know. This is another thing that's kind of interesting, is that there are pictures of the two of them like all over their bedroom. And I think it's her, or is it maybe someone else? I'm not sure. I mean, it's kind of unclear whether that's actually his wife or not.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Although, well, no, I don't mean, I do mean he was married, but I mean the actual corpse.
I thought it was.
Yeah.
Really? I couldn't tell.
No, but I mean, that's fair. I guess it could have been somebody else that he was using as his wife as a stand-in, but I was under the impression it was his wife.
Yeah. I also thought it was incredibly creepy when she came out dead alive, pregnant, holding her. But then I remember, I just thought in a minute, I'm like, well, someone else is going to have a baby. And lo and behold, that's how it ends.
Listen, I love a pregnant zombie. And it's not the first time I've seen a pregnant zombie lady, and I love it.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I don't know how many I've seen. The only one I remember is the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Right, the Zack Snyder one. Yeah.
But that's a zombie baby that's born, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And this is not a zombie baby.
No, this is a regular human baby.
Yeah, because the fact that it's like the EMP turned them into zombies, not necessarily that the zombie is contagious.
Right.
Well, right. But I mean, if it can kill everything, it can't, get through the stomach lining and into your uterus and kill you. That doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense to me.
I don't know.
So I was pretty sure that the crazy guy, I don't know what to call him, the heavy smoker. No, the heavy smoker.
The other guy. Got it.
Yeah, what was his name? Clay. That was his name. I don't know why I remember that all of a sudden. Yeah, I kind of liked his character, just this sort of fuck up who, he said he'd do it. So he's like, his wife and his kid don't want him. So he's like, well, I guess I'll go do it then. I got nothing else going on. And, but there were some things that that just didn't work for me. The whole soldier interaction, I really just didn't care for, because I just thought, I don't want to get into, this is a movie about her going on a journey to find her husband. And now we got to get sidetracked by this fucking whack job. And I don't like movies that take me on unexpected detours that suck, in my opinion. Because the whole time, like from the moment that guy popped up on screen, I was like, this guy's bad news. So when are we going to, I mean, he's operating alone. You know, he's clearly not with his unit.
Mm-hmm.
He's, I mean, maybe he's AWOL because nobody is supposed to be where they are.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. The fact that he's by himself
yeah.
also suspicious.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just the whole, you know, the creepy thing with the dinner, and the only thing of part of that I liked was when she went into the barn, because I was like, oh, what's she gonna find in the barn? And then she finds a dozen zombies.
Yeah, all chained up.
Surprise.
Yeah. And one thing that I did like was I like how they all were grinding their teeth down. That was super gross.
Mm-hmm.
But it just didn't. It seemed like a little thin overall. Like, all right, her character motivation is X, and we keep going back to these flashbacks, which are ominous. So I don't know. I just thought it was thin. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And I really didn't like that she gets her baby in the end when she takes the zombie's baby. I was just like, this is corny as fuck, and I don't like it. So it's like you're rewarded after all of the horrible shit with a baby. Because that's what you really
a baby.
wanted. Well, I know she wanted a baby. I mean, it's fine for her as a viewer. It's like, oh, who gives a shit? Can we just end this, please? And it's short too. So,
yikes.
I mean, this movie is 95 minutes long, but the closing credits are 8 minutes. So, I don't know. I just, it's not good. It's not bad. I kind of liked it, but I didn't think the cinematography was anything special. I did like the makeup effects of the zombie covered in motor oil. That was surprisingly effective and creepy, especially since that zombie didn't really move much. It was just kind of staring at them.
Mm-hmm.
And I also kept wondering why she would get so close to the zombies and turn her back on them when she's seen them do weird things. So, I don't know. It was kind of cool to see a different take on zombieism, and also to see that they're not necessarily all bad or gonna eat you, or actually, who knows if any of them are actually gonna eat you? We don't know what these zombies are doing.
We don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that even though it's a zombie at the end, we still take time to make fun of a ginger by calling her a ginger. I mean, Jesus Christ, how awful. It's like, what's this ginger gonna do? Or whatever he says. So anyway, so that's how I feel about We Buried the Dead. Is, you know, a nice 90-minute diversion, but nice is not the right word. But
okay. Evan, what did you think of We Bury the Dead?
Well, I definitely liked it more than Dave. I actually liked it quite a bit. I thought this was a really entertaining zombie movie. I liked the premise of the like EMP causing people to become zombies, and you know, not necessarily like wanting to eat people, but attacking people, or in some cases not. Like, I thought that was really fascinating. Like, that one zombie woke up, saw that his family was dead, and started digging a hole to bury them, and she helps bury the family, and then like Mercy kills him as he is ready for her, because he's like sitting in the grave at the end of it. It was interesting to me that like when they said early in the movie, like the lights are on but no one's home, that's not actually the case. Especially that first one that she sees in the motor oil is very clearly like trying to mouth something or trying to talk to her. And so I liked the kind of pivots from some of the traditional zombie lore. Well, you know, it's the kind of movie that like sidesteps some of that stuff, which I like. Well, you know, playing into some of the tropes for sure. Like, I like the teeth grinding thing was fun. It reminded me so much of the clickers from Last of Us, though.
Oh God, yes.
It's hard not to like ignore that. And then also it's just like, I feel like if they're grinding their teeth that aggressively, I feel like the teeth would be like broken in 2 seconds.
I think one of them did have broken teeth, but it cut away maybe before I noticed. But yes, but I agree with you. It definitely should have been more obvious.
Oh, the one in the bar was breaking her teeth right off.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
But yeah, I actually did like the cinematography in this. I liked there's several shots, mainly kind of like wide shots of like there's that one where she's standing at the hotel window, seeing the helicopter kind of like fly toward the burning city, and I thought that looked really cool. There was the overhead shot of like the dead cows as they were kind of driving across the road. There were a lot of things that I thought were really well done. I liked the score to this too. I thought the score was good. Liked Daisy Ridley in this, like Brendan Thwaites, that Mark Cole Smith. He was freaking creepy as the weird guy who was keeping zombies. I love the shot where she's hiding in there from him, and she stands up and decides that she's going to play the character of the wife. And then while she's standing there, he's shining the light on her, and the zombies behind her are illuminated in like the creepiest way. They're like shambling behind her, and the light is catching their eyes, and their eyes are glowing.
That was creepy.
It was creepy as shit.
Well, you know what's sticking in my mind about the way it looked is the really just I thought the way that they shot it and did the computer imagery and all that stuff when Daisy Ridley was being chased by the zombie through the bus, the turned over bus. I just thought it was really poorly done from like a staging level, a camera movement level, how much glass was blocking my view. I just thought it was awful. I was like, what? Who decided this was the right way to go? And I think that informed a lot of my other, feelings about how it looked. So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
I liked that sequence. I thought the overhead shot through the bus was an interesting way to kind of attack that, especially when she gets pinned down in the corner and has to
there's that fire hydrant.
Smash him in the face with that fire extinguisher. Yeah.
Oh, fire extinguisher.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant, fire extinguisher. But yeah. So, and it's short. And also, I like to. It's such a low bar in movies now, but I like to praise movies that show and don't tell, as this movie does several times. Like when she goes in the hotel room and sees the two glasses, one with the lipstick on it. Like, it's so nice when movies just show you things instead of just like beating you over the head with exposition. And there are multiple moments in this movie that use visual cues to tell you information. Like when she's staring at the crib and then it cuts to her looking at the pregnancy test and he just like, it'll happen, don't worry, or whatever it is that he says to her. It's like, no, we don't need to have like this extensive exposition. We don't need her to tell Brendan Thwaites like, oh, we were trying for so long and this and that. And they do get to that point later when it's appropriate for them to be sitting there having that conversation while they're drinking. And there's a really great wide shot of like, I don't know, it's like a lake or the ocean or whatever while they're sitting there drinking. I love that he got so drunk that he threw up on the husband's body and then was using a sheet it was wrapped in to wipe his mouth. That was all very funny to me. And they gave him a Viking funeral for some reason because she saw that like painting or whatever it was on the wall of a Viking funeral. So she's like, okay, I'll just give my ex a Viking funeral. Felt kind of random. And then I was truly surprised when the baby thing happened, because I was kind of thinking like, okay, we didn't do the Zack Snyder, zombie baby thing. We didn't see the baby born. And then I was like, okay, yeah, it would make sense for it to be a normal baby. So sure, this is kind of an upbeat note to end the movie on now that, I guess you got a baby that you got to deal with if that's a thing that you want. If that's something you're into, then go for it, movie people.
Happy birthday to you. You have a baby.
All I was thinking about is how they were going to feed it. Where are they going to find formula? Where are they going to find,
It'll be fine. Life finds a way, Dave.
I'm sure. Yes. Well, who knows how long the baby had been standing there? The baby was remarkably clean, so.
Yep.
I mean, I assume that the zombie lady, came over to alert.
Yeah, she was alerting them. Yeah.
So no. What I mean is that I think it happened rather recently because the blood did not look dried; it looked wet on her dress. So I don't think the baby was out for very long. So
that's true too.
Out of her body, I mean.
And I did think it was interesting how she was like, "I'm a zombie. I can't take care of this baby."
Yeah, she knew. She's like, I can't do anything with this baby.
Oh, there was a non-zombie baby born from a zombie in 28 Days Later, the recent one, right? 28 years later?
I haven't finished it yet, so I don't know.
Oh, there's something
I'm
I
like
just
halfway
saw.
through it.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, forget what I said.
I mean,
then.
no, you're probably right. I mean, again, it's not the first. This is not the first time. 28 years later, probably has done it. Girl with All the Gifts did it. Yeah. So.
Right.
Well, now that you've heard from me, where do you come down on this, Megan?
Oh, I thought this was great. I thought this was great.
So you're on the same page.
I had a blast with this. I love Daisy Ridley. I am obsessed with her career. I love the roles she's picking. I especially love the film Sometimes I Think About Dying, which I know you love too, Dave.
I
so
did.
Good. And I like that she's kind of, after Star Wars, she's like, you know what? I'm just going to do all of these different kinds of movies, and weird movies, more mainstream movies, different genres. She's like, I'm just going to try everything. And I think she's great in everything. I think she's a really great actor. So I loved her in this. And I'm always here for a zombie film. I'm always here for a kind of makeshift road trip film. And I really dug it. It reminded me a lot of Girl with All the Gifts. It reminded me of Thea Hvindsdal's Handling the Undead, which is a Norwegian zombie film where people that also deals with grief, where people are coming back from the dead. It reminded me of 28 Days Later in the way that Ava has to deal with the creepy, military guy.
Yep.
And kind of navigate those, gender norms that you can never trust men there, because there's always a creepy, unsafe one lurking.
Yep. People are always the problem. The zombies.
Right. Exactly. Have we learned nothing from The Last of Us or from Walking Dead? It's always people that are the problem. Or Night of the Living Dead, of course. People are always the problem. It's not the zombies, it's the people. So yeah. So I mean, this isn't a long line. I mean, and those are just some of the extensive number of zombie films. But yeah, I liked this. I liked this. I like, for all the reasons that you both said, well, for the positive reasons you said, Dave, but I liked the cinematography too, much like you, Evan. I like that it's so ridiculous that the bar is really on the floor, where it's like, oh my God, we're not getting an exposition dump. Thank God, and like, that we're seeing her twisting her wedding ring. And so clearly she's thinking about it, but we don't need her to explicitly say, I'm thinking about my husband all the time. Like, it's just nice. It's refreshing. And yeah. And I also agree that the special effects or the makeup was especially great. Like you said, Dave, on the zombie covered in motor oil. I also loved the teeth gnashing and that click, click, click sound that is very much The Last of Us. I will always just think of that. Yeah, I liked all of this. I liked her journey as a character. I liked that she has these complicated feelings of grief and things are unresolved. But then what I also really, really liked, this is like a small moment, but I loved this. When she the movie's been building to this, to her finding her husband. And when she finds him and when she finds out he was with another woman, and she's like, wow, she's really pretty. And she's like, well, was. But I like that she's not like, and of course there's nothing wrong with being angry. You're certainly entitled to it. But I love that she's not like a sobbing mess, or she's, flinging things around the room in a tirade of, fury. Like, I like that she's like, well, yeah, this happened. And I don't know, there was something that just felt refreshing about that and realistic about that. And considering where their marriage had been and where she was as a person. And so I just really liked this. I liked the look of it. I liked the early on incorporation of news broadcasts. I liked the environmental storytelling. I like that it just kind of throws you into it. I appreciated that. So I think this film is entertaining. I think it's thoughtful, and I think it makes a lot of good choices narratively. So I was really into it.
Agree.
Cool.
Do we have any other thoughts?
I don't.
Evan, do you have any other thoughts on this?
I was annoyed at the why do some of them come back? Oh, they have unfinished business. It was like,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
clearly
that was
not
dumb.
it. It's clearly
Yeah,
not it.
I know.
And they don't explain, and that's fine that they don't
Yeah.
explain why some of them come back. I will say the one moment that actually did legitimately annoy me was
Oh,
when
yeah.
he goes, "How did you get away from that psycho?" Or he asks her, "How did you get away from that psycho?" And then it's like, "Oh, you first," but then we don't hear what happened to him. We don't get to hear how he got away from the psycho.
Yeah, it's kind of a cop out because then you don't have to write it, I guess.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't know if it bothered me that much, but no, it is kind of like, oh man,
Yeah,
that's a convenient
exactly.
way around that.
Convenient way. We don't have to hear what happened to him.
Yeah.
Like we can
Exactly.
guess, but it's just
Yeah.
like, you first cut. No.
Oh, I'll tell you something I did like. Just the fact that
Ooh,
he
yeah.
still went down there to find to help her
Yeah.
with her thing. I was like, oh, this guy might be a fuck up, but he's not that bad.
Right. He's not totally devoid of morality.
Right.
Yeah. And I do see what you're saying though, Dave, about the zombie the baby's not a zombie baby, but for the baby from the zombie mom,
It's
there is
very
something to be said.
convenient.
It is very convenient. There is something to that. What I will say I do like about that happening, not that she needed to get a baby necessarily as a reward, but I do like the kind of morphing or consciousness changing that the zombies are going through, which this is not the first film that's explored this. There are many other films and books that explore, is this just a different state of being? How sentient are these creatures and zombies specifically? And there's like a whole psychological thing we could get into talking about the uncanniness of it all and the ethics of it and so on and so forth. But I do really like that this shows that they, are more sentient than initially thought. And I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, you can see that all along Romero's. Now, I haven't seen What Came Beyond Land of the Dead, whatever those two other ones are called, but you can see the evolution of the zombies over those four very clearly.
Absolutely. Yep.
How by the fourth one, they're organizing and, doing missions. I don't know how else to describe it.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I think that's
So.
a fair description. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, yeah, Romero laid the blueprint for other zombie films to follow. So, yeah. All right. Anything else now? Last
Nope.
I was like last call.
No, not for me.
All right. So let's do a recap. So The Plague is in theaters now. And Evan, I think it's safe to I don't want to speak for you. So I'm just gonna let you take it. Would you recommend it?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say a hard no because I do think it's well made. I don't know if it's worth seeing though, and your mileage is certainly going to vary, and it's unpleasant. So I don't think you need to rush out to see it. And yeah, it's kind of it's like whatever. See it, don't see it. So milquetoast. I'm like, whatever. Okay, We Bury the Dead is in theaters now as well. And Dave, would you recommend it?
I mean, this is your mileage may vary too. I the more I've been thinking about it as we've been talking about it, there were a lot of things I did like, but there are some things that I just didn't. I just didn't like that detour with the fucking crazy army guy. I'm trying to think of a movie specifically where I've seen that before, and I know I've seen that left turn, that specific left turn, and maybe it's just 28 Days Later. I don't know, but because I kind of feel like, well, all of Alex What's-His-Face's movies devolve into violence eventually. And the point in that one is that, men are shitty. That's not the point, but that's a
big point.
No, it's not the only point, I guess is what I mean.
Right. Yes.
And I just kind of feel like this is it's a smaller scale and maybe that makes it a little more human, but at the same time, it's just, I just really wanted to get past it. So that half hour kind of made me for the rest of it. So that's a long way of saying your mileage may vary.
That is fair. Evan, what about you? Would you recommend it?
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's an enthusiastic yes.
And me too. I would also recommend it enthusiastically. This was such a nice, I don't want to say nice surprise because I always like Daisy Ridley, but it was kind of a nice surprise.
Right. Good way to start the year.
Yeah, exactly. It's always nice. I mean, it's always great when you see a good movie or enjoyable movie, especially a good way to kick off. Absolutely. We want to give a huge thank you to our editor, Otto Clammer. Otto, thank you so much.
Thank you, Otto.
Thanks, Otto.
And you can get Spoiler Piece Theater anywhere you get podcasts. You can also listen at our website, spoilerpiece.com. You can find us all over the place. We're at Spoiler Piece on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, Blue Sky, Letterboxd. So come find us, say hello, let us know, what did you think of these movies if you've seen them? Which are you excited to see? And let's see, you can also email us, spoilerpiece@gmail.com, to let us know. You can also ask us questions. We love questions. And if you really like the show, consider rating and reviewing us. That helps us get the word out about the show. You can go to ratethispodcast.com/spoilerpiece. It will take you to your preferred platform of choice. You can also just go to Apple Podcasts directly and rate us there, which is a big boost. If you really, really like the show, you can consider becoming a patron if you're not already. For $5 a month, you get access to our weekly bonus episodes and our entire back catalog of bonus episodes. This week, we talked about The Verdict, the Paul Newman legal film, and it's a good movie and a good time. So come check it out if you are a patron and consider joining if you're not. And if you really like the show, but maybe you don't want to become a patron, you can get our merch. You can go to our website and it'll take you to our TeePublic store where you can get all kinds of goodies. And, you know, the holidays just ended. Maybe you got some money for a gift and you could buy some merch. You could get a Spoiler Piece mug or a pillow or a notebook or a hoodie or a t-shirt. All kinds of fun stuff. And I think that's it. So my name is Megan Kearns. I write and podcast for In Session Film. I'm a co-host of the Slashers podcast, a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, and a member of Gallica. You can follow me on Blue Sky and Twitter at Opinion S World or on Instagram and Letterboxd at The Opinion S.
My name is Dave Riedel. I'm a member of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, and if you want to follow me on social media, I'm Dave Sees Movies on Instagram, Letterboxd, some other places, and David M. Riedel on Blue Sky.
My name is Evan Crean. I'm co-chair of the Boston Online Film Critics Association, co-author of Your 80s Movie Guide to Better Living, and co-host of the It's the Pictures podcast. You can follow me on social media as Real Recon, and that's real as in film reel.
Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time. Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.